Hi, I'm Hariata. I'm 57. Well, in a couple of days I'm 57. I live in Wellington and I just love yoga. I'm married, I'm a mother of two grown-ups, and I'm a grandmother, and my youngest grandchild is about to have his 21st. When I started yoga, I had a great corporate job that I really loved to be in. It was a magical job, a human resources manager with a regional role. So that meant I worked with a wide range of people in retail. However, what this really meant was 7 days of the week, at the end of a phone, long hours, and really that was my life and I loved it. One day I just went to the health food shop, as you do, to buy mung beans. On the counter there was a little flyer for a yoga cleansing weekend, Satyananda inspired. Well, I didn't know what Satyananda was, I couldn't say the name, didn't know what a cleansing weekend meant. I just knew I was going, so I did. It was a residential weekend, and the thing I remember really loving about that weekend, lights out at 9 o'clock, which I thought, how am I going to do that? Lights out at 9 o'clock, what is that? And that was so calming, beautiful. It was a lovely space, you know, nice, relaxing space by the river. That was really good. And the other thing I remember about that weekend was actually expecting to do some work, which was my normal thing to do, because it was about being in integrity with the promises I had made to other people. I'll just make these calls. I took my cell phone, my company cell phone, my company laptop, as I did at that time, and they wouldn't work. I was out of range, and I was never out of range. That meant I put them in the car and thought, oh well, I'll just have to pick it up on Sunday. And that was the beginning, really, where I realised that I had a big mirror in front of myself that weekend, so I could really observe how I was being. And very, very, very slowly and very, very, very gently, I just got to take a deeper look and make a different choice little bit by little bit, which has led me to be in a completely different place now. I think emotionally I'm a pretty strong person, period. I was then and I am now. And not afraid to look at my emotions, really. I was making different choices then. Physically, I think I was not, in fact I was thinking I was in a potentially dangerous place, because I was making choices where I wasn't drinking enough water, enough pure water. I have a diploma in wine and I had it at that stage, you know. So that meant learning about wine and enjoying it and all the fun that went with that. Some of my choices were quite sound choices, but I was overweight. I ate more than I needed to eat. And my feedback loop from my body telling me that was I was okay with where it was at. I didn't see anything wrong with the way I was behaving around overeating, because I was. Really, my dietary change came about not because I had a weight loss goal. I was 4 dress sizes bigger than I am now. I just wanted to be better at my yoga. That's how it happened. Because these people that accepted me when I went there in this overweight state were very accepting and fun to hang out with. They were much younger than me. I was the oldest person there. I was probably old enough to be their mother or their grandmother. That's a thing I really found with yoga. The people that tend to have a regular practice are quite cool people generally, you know, very pleasant, very dedicated to being a better to being the best person they can be, and therefore extending out to others and being welcoming and quite inclusive in the way they behave and the way they speak and all that kind of thing. I'm quite amazed that even though I was accepting of how I was physically, that I let myself get that overweight. I can actually go up to people at yoga and talk to people who might or might not be experiencing what I was, because I don't know what decisions they're making, why they're there, what they're looking for. They might not know themselves. but I just want to extend some of that openness that I experienced myself, because it made a difference to me. I couldn't sit on the floor at the very beginning without the aid of those little fold-up stools, that those little tiny wooden ones. Love them. They're awesome. I just was completely incapable. I didn't have the flexibility to sit on the floor. I can now. That's a really deep question. What is yoga? Because to me, yoga is not just asana or the physical poses. I learnt very early on it is much more than that. It's about being present. It's about accepting myself, and if I accept myself and where I am on the deepest level, that means I'm also open to accepting where others are. When I was doing this full-on corporate thing, I have examples of where my friends, my girlfriends of course, would arrive at this very table and say, "Put that phone away, we are going out." And they'd drag me out to a cafe or something, and now they don't have to do that quite so much, because there's more space where we will have girly time and, I don't know, go for a high tea or something. From Satyananda, I asked of my teacher to have a sequence that I could do in a hotel room, because I travelled a lot in my job. So basically, I learnt that Surya Namaskar, the Satyananda style, is probably my preferred travel kit when I go anywhere. And I always start with breathing and noticing, but I can tell what is going on with my body with just 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar in the morning. I know exactly what's going on, what might need a little adjustment. Sometimes it'll affect what I'm going to wear. I hang out at hot yoga with Wellington a lot because I love the environment, I love the people. So my practice really consists mostly of doing asana at hot yoga. Not so much Satyananda these days, although I think there's a special place in my heart always for Satyananda. I've never met a Satyananda teacher yet that I haven't got masses and masses to learn from. They all inspire me. I also regard things like Kirtan and yoga retreats as part of my yoga. I'm open to going to those whenever they fit in with my timetable, so I include those. However, in a specific yoga context, that was part of the very initial yoga retreat, the cleansing retreat I went on up in the Otaki Forks, the Satyananda one. And that was my first introduction to Kirtan, really, which is, I think, a very subtle form of yoga. So subtle that I think I'm only beginning personally to really open up to what it means for me. I think I have lifted my vibration enough to be able to appreciate and to understand what it is. So I don't claim to know what it is. I claim to be glimpsing the beginnings. That's what I think is happening for me anyway. Kirtan is not a performance. It's about singing these sacred words together in community with others. So I think that amplifies the energy, being together with others, providing this focus with these words, singing to the goddess, Om Shanti, and we all know that there's an amazing thing that happens when a group of people are taking the in-breath and the out-breath at the same time. That enhances the energy, and it means that we are experiencing oneness in an amplified way, because we're all vibration, and Kirtan, being so subtle, really emphasises the subtlety, the connectedness, the sacredness of life itself. So it's about hanging out and having a good time, which is really where I come from, really. Go and hang out with those nice people. And we had Kirtan on Sunday night. This is Tuesday. So just a couple of nights ago I went back to Kirtan, because I haven't been to an organised Kirtan session for a while. And the profundity of it, the gloriousness of it, the private and yet at the same time collectiveness of it blows me away. It's just fun. There's no such thing as being too fat or too unfit or too unmotivated to start, because just starting here and going like this is yoga. This is a start. People in wheelchairs can do yoga. People who are elderly can do yoga. I visit an elderly ex-neighbour and I get her to try and do something. Sometimes it's as simple as just, breathing in and out while doing that. It's not really big earth-shattering poses on the first day. Well, it wasn't for me anyway. And I also think that yoga is for whoever chooses to go and explore it. And truly, I think yoga can be fun. And it's an essential component of my life. It's opened up my life in ways I never possibly could have imagined. Wonderful people have come into my life as a result of yoga. And good habits have cemented themselves. So it just keeps getting better every day, really. And I think if you want to have a go, just start. Start small and have fun every day.